Talk about a local guy, Liam Eichenberg from St. Ignatius, as well as Notre Dame University, who is likely to be a first or second round pick. Let's welcome in Matt Goul, prep beat reporter for cleveland.com. Matt, appreciate the time. Take me through your article with Liam Eichenberg and what you found out.
Well, I got to talk to Chuck Kyle extensively a little bit about Liam, and the first thing I asked was, when did you think this guy had pro potential? And, he's had a few of them over more than his share, a few over the last couple decades, and he mentioned going to the Under Armour All-American game and seeing how Liam performed against guys that you knew were going to be at the pro level someday. And that was guys like Rashawn Gary, who of course went to Michigan, Ed Oliver with the Bills, Nick Bosa from the 49ers. All those guys were selections for that Under Armour All-American team that year. And that's when Liam really got to show what he could do against that kind of elite talent. And it started to show the next few years. Of course, he has not given up a sack since I think 2018, the first month of his sophomore season at Notre Dame. So he's done more than show what he can do projecting to the next level, I believe.
Yeah, and that was a guy you always looked at, and I remember standing next to him on the field going, this guy is huge. And his footwork was really good, even as a high school player. You just never know. When you say NFL, you just never know. But he certainly checked a lot of the boxes that you would look for from a lineman.
Yeah, I did not get to talk to Liam at all really in high school. I was just starting back when he was in his heyday at St. Ignatius, but I did get to cover his brother Tommy a lot. And from what I understand, just seeing Liam and knowing Tommy, they're very quiet. They're close to the vest, but they're focused. And I think that's going to pay dividends for a guy like that. And of course, you look at his pro day numbers, they're quite comparable. They jump off the board compared to a lot of guys, especially guys like Ronnie Stanley, because, Notre Dame has put out a lot of linemen in the draft the last few years. And Liam compares quite well to them. And as his coaches, both Coach Kelly over at Notre Dame and Coach Kyle both said they think he's a plug and play guy, can play multiple positions. You look at teams drafting late in the first round, that could be vital. Now, the Chiefs are off the board now, but maybe the Ravens looking for Orlando Brown's replacement. Teams like that, I think, are teams to watch because they could use a lineman like that, a guy who can plug in, maybe play guard in a pinch, or if you need a tackle, he's right there.
Yeah, and, the interesting thing is earlier today, Todd McShay did an article for ESPN Plus where he talked to general managers about guys that would get drafted earlier than they thought. And more than one NFL GM who were his sources said that they thought Eichenberg could move up into the back half of that first round. So it'll be interesting to see. And you imagine what it'd be like to be drafted in the first round in your hometown. So that's what draft night could be for Liam Eichenberg.
Yeah, definitely. And we talk about so much, especially last week, it feels like it's starting to ramp up the whole discussion of guys who played last season and guys who didn't. Could those guys who didn't play fall? This is a draft unlike any other because, the sample size of college film from last season isn't as much as it used to be. It normally is, I should say. There wasn't a combine this year. So, I think people get a little too picky with the spring stuff, with the combines and the pro days, but there is some truth to, hey, you don't have that one uniformed event anymore where you can really talk to a lot of guys. You're going off of the footage and the film, and Liam's really stands up. Like I said, he hasn't given up a sack in the last few years. That says a lot.